Good afternoon, dear brothers and sisters. Concerned citizen of South Sudan is going live again. Today is Saturday, August 26, 2017. We have some topic that we are going to cover today. We will be talking about what is the role of the concerned citizen to bring the peace in South Sudan, what we can do, what the role we can play. That's one topic. Also, I will emphasize on the role of international community and the role of the state, any country, to become a member of international community. What are the requirements? And why are we member of the international community? Because there is a little bit of confusion here with South Sudan government and the rebels and other political opposition. There is big confusion. So I'm going to go in details why we are not understanding. And also I have an answer to my brother, Tonpajok. I really appreciate his comment because he responded to my previous video, the one before last week, when I made a statement about Abilalier and the role that he has played in Addis Ababa Agreement in 1972. And what went wrong, because we are all aware that Abilalier was the agent of peace within. So it was not a rebel in that time in 1972, but it was agent of peace within the government of Sudan that time. So these are the three topics that we are going to talk today. And I will have a privilege also to invite one of you, if someone is willing to make a live comment. I'm open, you know, because this is a discussion forum, and we as a young generation, we want to make differences, you know. We want to be able to talk, and our generation is different than, you know, than the passing generation. We want to live together. We want to be able, you know, to see a just South Sudan, a prosperous South Sudan, because we believe that we are all belong together. So let me start answering the question of my brother Tonpajuak, because he indicated that what I have said actually was not correct. I respect his opinion. I wanted to start saying that to my brother. I don't know if you have read the book that so-called The Conflict. It was written by Abilalier actually. The conflict between Dinka Bor and Dinka Agar. So, and that book actually is on the Sudanese Library, University of Khartoum. I don't know if it is on Amazon or not. So it's something that I will invite my brother, you know, to go and read and find details what happened exactly. So I didn't make any false accusation against Abilalier. We are all aware that Joseph Lago was the chairman of Anyanya 1. And then after peace deal was signed in 1972, Abilalier actually was leading the peace within. So, and that's what I said last time. When the rebel group came in and signed the peace agreement, and that time we have an autonomy in southern Sudan that time, Abilalier was able to win an election, was able, you know, to influence within and won an election for 2 terms. So it was the president of southern Sudan that time for 8 years. And the reason that I am referring you to go and read the book that's written by Abilalier, The Conflict Between Dinka Bor and Dinka Agar, all the details are there. And why the Equatorian, they start hating the Dinka that time. Because Abilalier simply, when he became the president of Southern Sudan that time, or Rais Majlis Tanfiz al-Ala li Junub Sudan, he exercised the nepotism. And I'm still saying this clearly because this is true. This is the fact, something that had happened. And that's why the hatred is started between Equatorian and the Dinka. Again, go and read the book and you will find the details. And the reason Abelalia wrote the book is because Joseph Lago actually lost faith on the Dinka that time. So when he came to 1982, there was a proposed election. So Joseph Lago actually was the chief of staff of Southern Army that time. All right? So he decided he wanted to run to be in charge of Southern Sudan. But Samuel Aru, if you know Samuel Aru, is very respected, politician in South Sudan that time, called Joseph Lago and actually advised him not to run because the position that he was holding in Sudanese army, it was very crucial. Okay? But because of mistrust that Joseph Lago had experiences within the Dinka politician that time, he refuses actually, and he said, no, I'm not going to listen because you guys are the same. All right? So Samuel Aru here, what he did, because he wanted to save the situation, because if Joseph Lago, if he left the position that being chief of staff of the army in South Sudan that time, and then Nimeri, he might use his own echo, to change everything. And that's what happened down the road actually in the history. And you know that, why the Addis Ababa agreement fell. So Joseph Lago refused the advice of Samuel Aru, and he said, no, I'm going to run. So Samuel Aru said, okay, to save the situation, he went and has a meeting with the Rumbek politician, and he also called people from Tony and Gogrial that time. But people of Tony and Gogrial, they declined. They said, no, we are not going to support Joseph Lago. We want to support Abelalia. I don't know what was the motive. And then also Samuel Aru had a meeting with the delegate from the area of Northern Barghazal. We call it Awil. He was able to convince them, people of Awil. They got on board with Samuel Aru. And then Samuel Aru went further and consulted the Equatorian. So now you have a coalition, Equatorian and Rumbek and Awil combined, and then they went for election. So they all voted, supported Joseph Lago, and that's why Joseph Lago won the election in 1982. All right. So from that point, Abelalia fell. It was traded by Samuel Aru and those of Equatorian and from Northern Barghazal. So that's why he wrote the book, the conflict between Dinka Bor and Agar. This is the facts. You can go and look at that book and read the details, and you will find all the answers. So the reason I'm bringing this, because last time when I spoke, I said, when the problem occurred and you wanted to solve the problem, you have to go back to the root cause of the problem, where the problem is started. That's why I brought up the issue of Abelalia. I didn't just make, false accusation, because I knew exactly what happened. I read a lot, I was not there in 72 because I was not even born that time. But I read books, tell all the history that what had happened actually. And I mentioned that South Sudanese, we fought for 22 years plus. We fought for justice, liberty, prosperity. We have been marginalized by the northern oppressors. All right? And then we were fighting for the values. And the cause was, we need justice, we need liberty, we need prosperity. And we were able to have a credible referendum. South Sudanese vote overwhelmingly, 98.9% for independence. And very well you recall when President Kiir that held the constitution and said, hey, now we got what we have been fighting for. I made it clear what it should have happened. It should have get all the politicians, the elite South Sudan to sit around the table and said, okay, now, what had happened in the past in Addis Ababa, South Sudan was divided as a result of nepotism that was exercised by Abel Alier and Joseph Lago. They were not on the same page. Right now, we need to sit down because we got what we've been fighting for and avoid the problem that happened in the past so we can have a clear route, a clear path forward. But it didn't happen, actually. That's why I brought that, point. It didn't happen. President Kiir, start the government and they just took the vision of Dr. John Garang and throw in the garbage and they didn't care what happened, And they through the friend, the United States, who was the backbone, standing behind South Sudan, who really pushed hard for referendum of South Sudan to take place, they threw them under the bus. Simply because US always care about transparency and accountability. But China and Russia and all other countries, they don't. Because they don't want to be held accountable. If someone, they wanted to loot the public money, they want to loot everything. And that's why exactly they chose to go to have a relationship with the East instead having a relationship with the West. All right. So I brought that point last time because right now our country, it is in crisis. But to get out of this crisis, we need to learn from the past. All the problems that have occurred in the past, we need to make sure this time, if we are going to reconcile or to have a real genuine peace, okay, and stability, okay, for economic growth and stability of South Sudan, we need to know what happened in the past. We need to address them. We need to start address them since Abel Alier all the way to 2013 when the crisis has happened. All right. I hope that will be an answer to my brother. Go and read and you will find the details. So because I did not make it up, I don't like to support someone because he's from my region or because he's from my tribe. I care more about the national issues. That's what I do. So that's right. I think you make a solid correction on the history there. So I'm with you on the same page in 1982. So the question I have to you today, my brothers and sisters, and in this forum, I was on the Voice of America today, South Sudan in Focus, and we talked like 1 hour. I was guest there. We have some people from Khartoum, some from Juba, some here in the U.S. And we express what can be done. But I'm still throwing this question because I ask this question all the time. What is the role that we need to play as a concerned citizen? Because I know that you are concerned what's going on in South Sudan. I am concerned. So if you are concerned and I am concerned, is it okay just to remain silent and not saying anything and not doing anything? I know a lot of people are tired. I know a lot of people, they write to me, they talk to me, they said, you know what? You are wasting time. You can talk and talk and talk, but nobody's going to listen to you. Right. The government is not listening to me. But to bring unity among ourselves, we as young generation, do we need to be poisoned by same old politician? Those who don't see any success in the future, those who just look to themselves, do we want to engage in that kind of poison? Or we want to be a different generation, a generation that wanted to live together? Because I want my children, to live peacefully with their friends in Equatorial and in Upper Nile and in every corner of South Sudan. That's what we need to have. All right? That's why I'm speaking out. And that's why I'm keep, asking everybody. Because actually being silent is a recipe of supporting what's going on. I know some people, they say that, the issue of generalization, and a lot of people raised that point today on the Voice of America, because people have been generalized. The problem that happening in Juba, not actually everyone that is participating. The government is a collective of all people of South Sudan, and they decided to do bad thing that they are doing, and I am not responsible for it. But what I can do as a concerned citizen, I have to speak up. You and me, we can speak up and say, hey, we don't want this. Especially people in diaspora. We should raise our voice. We should raise our voice. Because we have to have our input. We did a referendum. We drove. We voted. We registered. We voted. And now we are left out. And actually we can make a big point. And I keep repeating myself like what our late hero Dr. Jongkor said. When you visit your neighbor, and you see the setting that they have in their houses, the way they arrange their furnitures and couch and sofa. When you go back to your house, you are likely gonna change something. You have learned something from that neighbor. We came here at the West. Some of us came to the United States. Some of us went to Canada and Australia and Europe. They have learned something. So the government actually is complaining that why we are using social media to make noises. Well, those who are in South Sudan, those young South Sudanese, actually they wanted to speak out, but there is no way they can speak out. First of all, they don't have resources. They don't have internet. Okay? Plus, if they speak out, they will end up in jail. Some they would be shot by a non-gunman. All right? So actually, this is supposed to be a positive thing. If someone inciting violence or talking about violence, we disagree. But someone giving advice, because what we do actually, we give advice because we want to see our country succeed. That's what we do. All right? So it's not a bad thing if some people thinking that, hey, we are making noise. No. Of course, because it's not about only two people. And that's the cancer that we have in South Sudan, because they make the crisis or, the problem that's happening, they make it just a crisis of two individuals, President Kiir and Riek Machar. And you're leaving out all the entire country. It's not going to take us anywhere. And I call this many times, if there's a real genuine peace, then there is a need for all South Sudanese from ethnic background to sit down and diagnose the problem all around the world. You don't have to carry the gun and then to be recognized as someone that is in opposition. All South Sudanese, they should have their input. All right? And that's how you can solve the problem from the root cause. But if you say because this guy has a gun and that guy doesn't have a gun, and so, okay, I'm going to go and negotiate with somebody who have a gun and just leave the other people out, it's not going to take you anywhere. You are not solving the problem. This guy who doesn't have a gun, tomorrow is going to go there and have a gun as well. So why not just sitting down, all of you, the one have a gun, the one doesn't have a gun, the government and the religious group and everybody, and just, come out with something. Because at the end of the day, we are brothers and sisters. We are. So I was making a comment a little earlier. If someone really interested, to make a comment before I jump to next topic, I can invite you. If you want to make a comment, I can invite you. All right, and then I can give you that opportunity to make your point here, because this is a very healthy discussion, among ourselves as a young generation. All right, so the next point here I wanted to make. Here, we have RPF. They start going to South Sudan, Regional Protection Forces. All right, the government has agreed, the rebels have agreed, but lately we start hearing voices, government, some rebel, they start having disagreement why we are having all this RPF. And they did agree actually for this. Let me take you back. Some individual within the government or some intellectual South Sudanese or ordinary South Sudanese, they keep saying that we don't need UN. We don't need all this. We don't need all this. Well, my dear brothers and sisters, we the one that invited UN to our territory. right? That's why I said from the beginning here, what role international community played, and what's the role of the state becoming a member of international community. Because it's not simple like that you become a member of UN. There are rules and policies that you have to abide before you become a member of the international community. South Sudan, in order to become independent nation, they have to submit their application to international community, to UN, which is international community. We did submit our application after we became we voted overwhelmingly for independence, right? This is what happened. For some people who do not know, because there is a mix here. Some people say, oh, we don't need UN. Why UN is coming? Why all this? Why all that? Actually, I can call it because of ignorance. Because if you know the charter of UN, is very clear. In 1948 in San Francisco, right? It used to be called the nation, the Organization of Nations. But after the Second World War, okay, before that, a stronger country can conquer weak country. And you all know that. The European superior at that time, they conquered all the African continent and all South America and all, Asian. And even United States was conquered by British too, right? So, after the Second World War, this is what happened. People have a big meeting here in San Francisco, and they decided to avoid all this problem. Stronger country go and invade that country and take the resources and that's what they do, what they wanted to do. It's gonna stop. We're gonna have rules in place, okay? And we, all people who sat on that meeting, we have responsibility, okay? If something happened, we will step in. And this document that we are signing, any country that will gain independence, okay, it will sign the document, it will become a member of that international community. And if something happened, if they need help, we will help them. But there are requirements of the state. You have to protect your citizen. There is a freedom of expression. There is a freedom of movement. There is a right of assembly. All these rights, we call them universal right. They were there in that document. So the point I wanted to make here, South Sudan, prior to our independence, we submitted an application to UN, to international community. And we were given, the government was given all the international requirement to become a member of UN. And they all initialed everything and signed it. So they signed that, okay, we will respect the human right. We will not violate the human right. We will respect the right of movement, the right of assembling. If somebody was arrested by police, it has to appear in the court within 24 hours. These are the laws, these are the international norms. So South Sudan accepted to become a member of the international community. Okay? And there is a role here. There is a role of international community. Okay? If a sovereign nation, independent nation, okay, fail to meet the obligation, fail to protect its own citizen, and then, quote, it is a collective responsibility of international community to step in and protect the innocent life. I hope people will go and type UN Charter, the human rights and all these things. You will find out. These are simple. And we all initial and we all sign. Nowadays, the Addis Ababa Agreement Accord that was signed between the rebel and the government of South Sudan, okay, in 2015. We already agree that the protection force will come. And we already agree for everybody, for all the things that, would happen. Now, I'm getting a little bit confused. So South Sudanese government, when they sign all the international norms, all this document, they didn't read it, or it's just a matter of being ignorant. You know what you signed for, even though a simple thing. Now, when I move out from my apartment I'm moving to a new apartment. There are guidelines, there are rules of that place. You know? I have to read them and move in. And if I violate this, I have to deal with it. Right? To become a member of the international community, you have to meet the requirement. We met the requirement that time, size, wise, population, everything. We were fighting for our right. And now we become an independent nation. So what happened? What happened now? We start violating the right of our people. We start killing them. We start, marginalizing them. We were all marginalized. But now we are doing the same thing. So the international community fell here. No. These people, they are members of the international community. And they signed this document. For those who don't know, and for those who pretend not, UN is just coming. It's not showing up just for beauty or something. It's coming to protect life, actually, because the government of South Sudan, the rebel, and all, stakeholders, they failed. They failed to do what they're supposed to do as a state. And that's why the international come in. We invited UN by our action, by what we have been doing. Okay? It's a gun case. Okay? It's a gun case, and we should not be focusing on this issue, why UN is coming and why this is happening and why this is going on. Right now, the government and the rebel and all other political opposition, we have to deal with this situation. What I mean dealing with this situation, we have to diagnose our problem, sitting down on the table, okay, and have a genuine peace. That's the only solution. They are not coming here to stay here forever. They are just coming to protect life. For instance, we have issue of people are being killed on Juba, Numili Road. Correct? Juba, Yei Road. Juba, Rumbek Road. Juba, Bor Road. All these problems are happening. The government is incapable. They are not protecting the citizen. So now if someone is stepping in, I will do the job that you are not doing it. Why are we complaining? Why are we complaining? We have been given this opportunity as a country, and actually to do what is right, but we did not. So those ignorant people, the one that keep complaining, oh UN, wallahi beled al macha fi UN, zay Congo hasa into shaifin hasal shunu, nothing is gonna be good. So what you see here as alternative, what alternative do you have? First of all, the government and the rebel, they negotiated peace agreement. And that peace agreement has not been implemented. Because the president said that he has reservation. Okay, the regional bloc and the UN and the UN Security Council, they went federal. They moved Riek Machar away because Riek Machar, it became like a prophet. More is closer to the region, to his people, more the fire will go on. So what they did actually, they want to give President Kiir an opportunity to do a real reform. So the international community actually, they thought it's a good idea, and the AU and IGAD, to put Riek Machar in confinement. They put Riek Machar in confinement for 1 year. They put Riek Machar in confinement in South Africa for 1 year. They said, we don't want to see you coming back here. Why they did that? Actually, they want to give Mr. President an opportunity to do a real reform, so the peace can come to South Sudan. If Riek Machar was the only problem, okay, stay away. Imagine since last year Riek Machar was away, but for the President Kiir to take that opportunity to call for genuine reform, okay, all South Sudanese, let's go ahead and sit down, on the table and diagnose the issue and do the interim period and rewrite this constitution and form a national commission for election and do census in the country. He was reluctant because actually he felt, oh, maybe they love me. That's why they kicked this guy away so I can remain in the power. No. It was an opportunity for you to step forward to do a real reform, to bring the peace. But you failed to do it, brother. You failed to do it. Now, the UN, the Troika, the IGAD, the AU, they still have a place on their heart for South Sudan. Because they have seen South Sudanese suffer for so long. We suffered for 22 years plus. And now after we gain independence, we're still suffering. We're still suffering. Right? They said, okay, this thing is not going to happen. The other day I was watching interviews, you know, of Mr. President Kiir. It was asked by journalists saying that, hey, Mr. President, the issue of humanitarian is deteriorating in the country. And people actually are leaving. They are keep going everywhere. Imagine the responses was, you know what, these people are leaving because of social media. The social media, you know, keep saying that you guys are going to be slaughtered, they're going to kill you, you guys are going to go. The internet. Ooh, those villages in Kajikeji, they have internet. Those in Meridi, they have internet. Those in Kaya, they have internet. Okay. Just don't worry about those even in Eastern Equatoria, Western Equatoria. What about Northern Barakazal? From my own area, from Awil, they are crossing every single day to go to Den, to go to Babanusa, and go to North. Are they running away from social media too? Do they have internet in Nyumlel, in Marialbai, in Gongmachar, and all these? Do they have internet that is scaring them? Someone is writing them, hey, you guys are going to be killed, run away? See, brothers, we have to make sense. And we know exactly. Our brother, he had a good heart when he rebelled long time ago to fight for the right of people of South Sudan. But now, he have forgotten the values that he has been fighting for. And that's why I'm saying that we need to remind him. We need to speak up. South Sudan is big for everybody, and it's enough for everybody. What we need is simple. Sit down and help each other and find the root cause of the problem. That's why I reminded you since Addis Ababa. All this problem started, you know, when Lago came in and Abilaya did what he did, and then Nimeri got an opportunity here because he was not happy actually with agreement of Addis Ababa. He wanted to destroy it, but there is no chance. But when we use that kind of corruption, it became an opportunity for him. That time. Now, remember, every time we are all united, we are stronger. Every time we try to have a hidden agenda, and we wanted to do things to interest ourselves, we are likely fail. I will tell you the one latest in history. I always describe South Sudan like a beautiful woman, young beautiful woman. And that young beautiful woman has a neighbor. And the neighbor actually is trying to take that woman away. Okay? But there is no way, you know, he can do that. There is no an opportunity he can do that. Okay? So one day, he did talk to that woman actually. He said, you know what? I love you, but there is no way I can get you. Okay? And the woman said, yeah, there is no way, but you know what? My husband is so crazy, give me a hard time. We keep fighting every time and all this and all this. And you know what the ideas came up with, the guy came up with? He said, you know what? When you guys fight again, I will come and pretend I want to make peace among yourselves. Then hajiskum, you know, bil Arabic. So the woman is pissed off, actually. You want to get away from this guy, you know. And so he went and he slapped the husband. And then they start fighting. Oh, you know, all this problem happening. And then the neighbor jumping, oh, what happened? And he said, oh, my husband, we are fighting on all this thing. Okay, he hugged the woman. Okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. You know. He said, okay, you, my friend, you stay here. Let me go and talk to this woman. You know what? Things are going to be okay. You know what? 2 days later, the guy advised woman, you know what? You are a beautiful woman. You are nice. You are all this. And this guy, he doesn't even care about you. He doesn't even care about the children and all this thing. You know what? I will take you. So the husband ended up losing his wife. So what the point I try to make here, South Sudan is a young, beautiful, pretty, beautiful woman. And I make this point last time. We have neighbors surrounding us. These neighbors, like they are, you know, hungry, hyenas, you know. We are cooking. We have a lot of things that to be cooked. We have oil, we have minerals, we have all this. We have Nile, we have a brighter lane, we have forests, we have animals. And you know what? They try to get in there. Now they are becoming independent state. And if they are stable, they will develop, the tourists will come in, investor will come in, and these people, they're going to prosper, and they're going to enjoy the life. Oh, we have to find a way to distract them. But there is no other way. Okay, if they have problem, we're going to jump in and play a role of someone want to resolve the problem. And that's what Museveni is doing exactly. And I make this point last time. So, the government, our brothers, they start beating their own, their own children home. No, don't do this. This is mine. This is mine. And actually, this country is enough for them and for their brothers and for their sisters and for their spouse. We shouldn't even fight. We shouldn't even fight. We shouldn't. But because of that eager, that selfishness, we become like, someone keep beating his wife every day, and then the neighbor actually was interested in that beautiful wife, and that neighbor hijacked and took the wife away. That's now why we are complaining. Why we are complaining about UN. Why we are complaining now about the region and all these things. It's the same president, it's the same government, SPLM, gave that opportunity. You actually, made Museveni to become your advisor. Even you don't listen to South Sudanese people. It's like they are not educated. We have young people in diaspora with good education. Actually, they have kind of jealousy. They want to see their country move and, have good infrastructure and bring the values that we have been fighting for. But they have been ignored. You didn't even care about us. When we speak here, when we make all this point, it's not because we want power. No. I work. I support my kids. I support my wife. They go to best school. I have a car. I don't have anything. But I have extended family. They are suffering. But I don't want that to happen. Because I want this South Sudan to be a land that I'm proud of. I can go from Rang all the way to Numali, or from Kafi Kenje all the way to Buma. Home is home. I wanted to do what I've seen here. Like, I gave you the example of neighbor. When you go to neighbor, you learn something and you want to use that good thing in your country. That's what we are here. The diaspora community, they are not here to incite the violence. Or they are not here to say, oh, that government is bad. If there was an opportunity for those people who are within the South Sudan, they would have made a statement. They would have speak out. But because they have been thrown in jail, have been shouted out and all these things, that's why they are not doing this. So my focus is to young, intellectual South Sudanese. I don't want you to be poisoned by those same old politicians. Those who don't see the light on the future. Those who see everything in themselves. Those who feel like, oh, our sun is going down. That's how they feel. They feel that their sun is going down, so they can do whatever. It's like they are acting like pharaohs, Pharaoh. Because pharaohs in the history, those of you who read the history, pharaohs, the kings of Egypt, when they died, they take their wealth, the gold, even their spouses and their slave, they have to be buried with them. Imagine, someone is going to die, but he wants, his slave and his gold and his food and his wife and his children to be buried with them. Imagine what kind of mentality is that? That's the mentality we have with politicians now in South Sudan, the old politicians. Because they feel like, oh, our sun is going down, so we can eat now as much as we want. They don't see this country is big. They don't see this country is going to remain there for their children and children, and generation to come for thousands of years. They don't see it that way. They are encircled there. Very, very close-minded. That's why I'm saying that our young South Sudanese, you don't want to be poisoned by these people. They think they are entitled to eat and steal and stay in power forever until they die. So they forget the values. The justice, the liberty, and prosperity. They forgot about it. Now, I don't know how they felt when someone go to Germany to go for a medical checkup, because I know they don't care, about the hospital, even in Juba and all these things. No infrastructure. When they go there and someone just will will throw, a simple question saying that Mr. So-and-so or Honorable so-and-so, Your Excellency so-and-so. I understand that in the course of history, South Sudanese fought with Sudan. What was the cause of the fighting? Why you guys were fighting? I don't know what would be their answers. What would be the answers? Okay, it was we have been marginalized by the northern oppressors. There was no justice, there was no freedom, and there was no liberty, and there was no tenmium wazina, there was no prosperity. That's why we fought. I don't think so there would be a courage within that man, a minister, okay, or a president, or anyone who is going to do a medical checkup in Germany to answer that way. Because him or he or she has failed to do what is right to the people of South Sudan. So they have failed to do what is right. You see? And that's why I'm saying that, my brother, my sister, we don't want to be poisoned by those. We are a different generation. I understand the frustration. Sometimes people will say, oh, Equatorial will say, well, I didn't get them Dinga will say, well, I know and all this thing. You know what? They try to poison us. They try to use the ignorant people within our communities so we can collide, so we can fight. And then when we fight, they will remain in the power. They are using that card. They are using that tribalist card. And those young, ignorant people will follow them. But we don't want this to happen. A Dinka is a brother with Latuka. A Dinka is a brother with Nuer. A Dinka is brother with Banda. We are the same people. We are. Now, those politicians, it doesn't matter how long they stay there, they're going to go tomorrow. They're going to leave. And this country will remain for me and you and for generations to come. We will go. And our children will remain in that country. And that's why we need to build this relationship among ourselves. We don't want them to continue using us, using all these ignorant people. I know, and I don't care. People talk, say, hey, you keep talking all these things, your life will be in danger. My life is not worse than those who die every day, crossing the border to go to the north and dying with the hunger, crossing to go to Uganda, crossing to go to Ethiopia. How many refugees South Sudanese? How many? South Sudanese citizens have been asked to do more than what they're supposed to be doing. We supported the SPLA, the struggle, with everything. With fight, with writing, with all kind. Right? And now, we have been disappointed. And we have been killed and marginalized. This is the time to come to our senses. I know people will say, oh, my region. We young generation, we don't want to put regionalism as a priority or a tribe as a priority. We need to put the country as a priority. Put the national interest of South Sudan. Make South Sudan your tribe. Kala Junub Sudan kun qabiltak. Lana Junub Sudan biyakfina kullana. It's enough for me and you. It's enough for me and you. Right? And the root cause must be addressed, like I said from the beginning. When I'm speaking here, I'm not just making conspiracy. No, I'm speaking from my heart. I am. And that's why I brought the history of Abel Alier and Joseph Lago. What I was expecting SPLM in 2011, after the flag was raised, would sit down and say what happened in the past is the past. Whatever happened in the past, now let's do the right thing. Let's treat all these citizens equally. So no one cannot feel, oh, they did this to me, they did that to him. That's how it should have been. But the notion that we spent 21 years, now is our time to enjoy first, it's going to become a culture. It is going to become a culture. And that thing must stop. I know those same old politicians, they will not. But we here as young generation, we have to denounce this and have a new chapter in our life. And that's why I'm calling, and I said that last week, we, the diaspora community, we need to have one voice. We need to come together. We need to come together and have one voice, because we need to have our input in any negotiation, in any form of stability that is going to take place in South Sudan. Because this country is bigger than them. All right. So, I don't know, if someone want to make a comment here, I am open to invite you. Just write it. Write it. I don't know. Nobody want to make a comment? Accept it. It's you, Nyamurinyang. You need to accept that invitation. Yes,
Hey,
my
John.
brother.
Hey, John.
I want you to make a point here.
I like what you're saying, but I'm just trying to encourage you. That's all. I'm busy right now. Maybe we can set another time and we can talk.
Yeah, I want people actually to engage, and that's why I start inviting people so they can make they can come with their perspective. But if you are driving, yeah, no problem. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. And if someone is willing to make a point here, I'm really open to invite them.
Thank you. We'll do it another time. Thank you.
No problem. I don't know if someone here is willing. I can put them live. Please, this is our country. Encourage. I want to invite this man. I don't know if he will say yes or not. Let me do this. You have to. Hmm. So he's declining. You know what? We have one very respectful lawyer here. I want to invite Ambrose a lot. I don't know if you are busy or you can enlighten South Sudanese with your perspective. If you can do, I'm trying, but I don't know why it's not going through. You okay? Okay, let me do this. I don't know why it's not. Okay. People are declining my invitation. I don't know why. Nobody's gonna do anything bad to you. Sure. Okay. Okay, brother, the floor is yours. I know you have been making a lot of good articles. I read all your articles also. This
Hello.
issue, oh yeah, I can hear you. We, the young generation of South Sudan, we want to make difference. We want, we don't want to accept the poison of same old politician. In your opinion, what do you think we can do as a young intellectual to bring about the positive change?
Yeah, Albem, I have to talk Arabic, man.
No problem. You can,
Yeah, yeah, because there's something you're talking about. This is be good to speak to the better language, everybody to speak down there in homeland, because a lot of people in the country there cannot speak all English. سببا ده أقول ده أشارك معك ده برنامج بتاعك تجيبه برنامج ده برنامج كويس جدا but when you talking about change طبعا change في وقت حاضر نحن نشوف ده من المستهلات إنه كان نحن كشباب بالنسبة لجنوب السودان نقدر نعمل change بالنسبة لوضعية القائمة في جنوب السودان في وقت حاضر عشان situation الموجود في ساوث السودان situation مختلفة شديد ومعقدة عشان كده الشباب ما بيقدر بيعمل أي شيء. الأصل النظرية أنا شايفه كمطلع عامة بالنسبة للوضع بتاع الشباب، يعني شباب بتاع جنوب السودان متقسمين أنفسهم يعني، وده المشكلة الحقيقية الممكن إنه فكرة بتاع الشباب يقدر يكون عندهم يونايت عشان يقدر يفكروا مع بعض في situation اللي قاعد يعمل نفسه في ساوث السودان عشان السببات بتاعه كثيرة جدا. أولا عندنا ضربة سلوكية بالنسبة للسلوكيات بتاعتنا كمجتمع جنوبي في كل مستوى بتاع قبائل بتاعتنا. السبب أنا بقول الكلام ده طبعا بلد بتاعنا تعلم من الخارطة حرب طويل العمد يعني 21 سنة كان في حرب. الحرب اللي كنا فيه حرب ده دخلنا في مطاعات كثيرة جدا اللي هي التشتت اللي نشتنا به بسبب الحرب نفسه. الحرب ده عمل فينا قلل اجتماعي، والقلل الاجتماعي اللي هي بيخش في السلوكيات بتاعت الانسان نفسه اللي بيبني عليه الانسان في حياته عشان يفكر به في مسير حياته في اشياء اللي بيحصل في سيتويشن اللي قاعد يعمل نفسه في لايف بتاعنا حاليا في ساوث السودان في كل مستويات في مواقعنا اننا قاعدين فوقه كشباب. يعني انت لما تنظر للمشكله القائمه في الجنوب هسه حاليا المشكله ده اساسا من الاصل عندها علاقه بغياب بتاع الشباب بطريقه مباشره. يعني الشباب الموجودين في وقت حاضر يعني بقى ما شباب اللي نحن بنعرفها على مستوى جنوب السودان في ستينيات سبعينيات يبقى حتى في اوائل الثمانينيات، يعني شباب اختلفت شديد جدا، وده كله بوري ده السبب بتاع الحرب اللي نحن طلعنا منه او اللي نحن كنا قاعدين فيه. طبعا الحرب ادانا انقسامات كثيره جدا، انقسامات كثيره. المجموعات اللي كان في تحرير اللي هي زمن بتاع PLA 1983 حتى مع جات 2005 في زمن بتاع peace agreement، الناس اللي كانوا عاملين مجهودات فائقه في هذا التحرير هم شباب. بعدك في ذاك النزال في الانقسامات بتاع الفراغ بتاع المجتمع بتاعنا، الناس اللي شردوا في المعسكرات المختلفه المسميات سواء كان في شرق افريقيا او في ساعه شمال السودان ودول العربيه اخرى، ده كله جروبات مختلفه المسميات. الحياه اللي هم عايشوا فوقه برا من الناس اللي ولدوهم صار في الزمن بتاع الكارثه ذات نفسه بيجوا هسه في الساحه حاليا في المجتمع بتاعنا. الفكره بتاعت انه نحن نفكر عشان كيف انه نقدر نعمل معالجات في السيتويشن اللي نحن قاعدين فيه كجنوبيين عندها صعوبه شديد جدا. فهي فكره من الاصل هي فكره كويسه، داير الناس انه يشتركوا فيه مع بعض عشان يلقوا مجال عشان يوجدوا الطريق اللي ممكن الناس يعملوا يلقوا المخرج، الناس يجمعوا الاسلوبيات اللي ممكن يجمع الناس مع بعض، وبعدها الناس يجي يفكروا في موضوع بتاع انه شنو نقدر نعمله عشان نقدر نطلع الحياه بتاعتنا اننا كجنوبيين في هذا السيتويشن عشان نقدر نساعد جنوب السودان ومجتمع هكذا في وضعيه حاليا. ده حاجه انا بشوفه كده وانا ما اعرف وانا جاوبتك غلط ممكن تعلمني عشان اكون معك في النهايه.
Well, brother, I really appreciate point that. نعم نحن مرينا في مراحل تعب فيها تعب شديد وفي حاجات بطال مثلا حصل للشباب وده، لكن ده هل مثلا بيمنع على انه مثلا لو واحد عنده انكل في حكومه او عنده خاله او عنده اخته whatever بيمنع على انه نحن to speak out؟ يعني مثلا لانه حصل اللي بيحصل ده نفسه حاجات البطاله اللي كان بيحصل continuing. نحن as young we have role انه مثلا to reject the poison الحاصل من the same old politician. لكن احنا لو قاعدين نسكت actually this is a recipe that they are doing right thing. كده shoot now and hatred that happening. يعني مثلا people will think يعني مثلا most of intellectual thinking ليه قاعدين يسكتوا؟ بمعنى مثلا هم مؤيدين الفكره الحكومه قاعد يعمل. How do we answer these people؟ لانه اساسا علامه السكوت الرضا، لان لما نسكت بمعنى اننا رضيانين بالوضع الحاصل. نعم حتى ولو يتكلم الناس بيقول you will not make any difference، لكن in my opinion actually will make difference. So I really appreciate you my brother and we will continue. لو في زولتان داير يعمل لنا comment I would like to invite him as well. But let us keep speaking up. And I like your article because you write real article that make a lot of sense to me. I like.
شكرا على الكلام اللي انت قلته بالنسبه للراي بتاع البسيط اللي عبرته لك في هذا المشاركه. بالنسبه للموضوع الثاني اللي انت تكلمت فيه اللي هي الموضوع بتاع السكوت انه الناس بتاعنا ما بيتكلموا. هي طبعا هي ناشونال يعني ليس شباب وبس، يعني يبقى حتى نحن كبار في السن نحن عندنا دور غايب شديد جدا، وخلينا نحن كمجتمع كبار في مجتمع. يعني هي المسألة الموجودة هسه حاليا في جنوب السودان أو مشاكل في المجتمع الجنوبي هي مسألة بتتعلق بالسياسيين والمثقفين والمتعلمين بتاع أبناء الجنوب. طبعا نحن قبل الانفصال بتاع الجنوب نحن عندنا كنا مع العرب في السودان الواحد كان بيقول إنه المجتمع الجنوبي مجتمع أمي. نسبة بتاعت التعليم يعني كان ما بتعصب يبقى حتى 1% ما كان بيعصبوا عندنا. فهذا كان له تأثير كبير جدا بالنسبة للمجتمع بتاعنا في جنوب السودان. بس العكس صحيح في هذا التوصيف، يعني زمن الحرب بتاع الجنوب عمل فيه تحول كبير جدا بالنسبة للمجتمع بتاعنا في جنوب السودان. يعني برقم الحرب يعني في ناس يعني أخذوا مستوى علمية كويسة جدا، وكثير من المعسكرات الجنوبيين كانوا لجوا فيه في كل مختلف المخيمات وكان قاعدين فوقه، سواء كان في السودان أو في دول أفريقية أو أي دولة من دول مشوا فوق الجنوبيين. يعني شدوا هلال ومشوا قرأوا بواسطة معاتهم و different parents بعض من الممبر بتاع الفاميلي القاعدين مع الأسر بتاعتهم شجعوا قلوبهم وشجعوا أنفسهم وكل العيال بتاعهم يقرأوا ولقوا نسبة مناسبة جدا بالنسبة للمجتمع بتاع الجنوب. لقوا ناس يعني قواتر علمية كويسة جدا في مختلف المعاهد والجامعات، لقوا نسبة كويسة في مجال بتاع التعليم. بس المشكلة هنا يعني عنده علاقة بالسلوكيات الانتمائية. يعني السلوكيات الانتمائية انت لو لقيتها في السوشيال ميديا في فيسبوك في بعض الناس بيتكلم عن انه في تفكك في المجتمع الجنوبي. كلمة تفكك في المجتمع الجنوبي ده حقيقة الواقعية وده المشكلة الحقيقية. التفكك ده يعني مربوط في كل فئات بتاع المجتمع بتاعنا، وده سبب بتاع الحرب. سبب الحرب ده عنده تأثير. طبعا حاجة ده نقطة الجنوبيين ما متابعين له، يعني الحرب حرب زمن طويل جدا والظروف اللي عايشنا فيه يعني ظروف صعبة شديد جدا، وكلنا نعلم جيد المعسكرات المختلفة اللي كنا عايشين فيه يعني المعسكرات عندنا أعلام كثيرة جدا برقم بتاع الظروف بتاع الحياة الناس كانوا عايشين فوق. موضوع بتاع سكوت إنه الناس ما بيتكلموا في الأوضاع اللي حاليا اللي بيحصل في جنوب السودان هي ما مسألة بتاع مجتمع مباشر، هي مسألة بتتعلق بالسياسيين وخاصة المتعلمين بالذات. يعني الناس اللي لقوا سوى التعليم في المجتمع بتاعنا الجنوبي ناشونال ديل الناس المفروض يتكلموا ليس الكل اللي أبناء الجنوب. المسألة بتاع السكوت طبعا فرأيي أنا شخصي أنا بشوف ده مجاملة بالنسبة للحقوق اللي عاوزين يكفوا باك بالنسبة للمناضلين بتاعينا. يعني الناس الناس حاليا في الساحة السياسية في النظام تاعكم ورسام ولا الناس في العاملين صراع في جنوب آسيا حاليا، سواء كان في سايد الحكومة أو في سايد بتاع المعارضة اللي بيسموا أنفسهم بمختلف المسميات بقيادة بتاع دكتور ياك مشار ورسام ولا لما قالوا كيرو الناس ديل هم كان جروب واحد في النظام بتاع النزال. النزال بتاعهم ولهم كان عملوه من أجل القضية بتاع المجتمع الجنوبي والجنوب السودان كان بقوة جغرافية. العدوم الباور بالنسبة للأقطاع الكثير اللي بيحصل في الأوضاع بتاعتهم بيخلي الناس إنه يتفرجوا عليهم يشوفوا الناس اللي عاوزين يوصلوا بينات لوين، يعني يودوا الناس لوين، عاوزين يودوا بلد سادو لوين. بركم التحرير بتاعهم اللهم كان بيعملوا من أجل تلك الشعب اللهم دخلوا في إهانة هسه حاليا. أنا بشوف ده سبب رئيسي اللي بيخلي الناس ما دارين يدخلوا عشان يدخلوا أنفسهم في الإراشات مع تلك الناس. بس هي المسألة أساسا بيرجع لهم الناس المصارعين. عشان كده هسه حاليا بعد منه في الطرف الثالث ده دخل في رسام ولا هسه عندنا مجتمع دولي دخل في الجنوب. ده الحته المناسب اللي احنا ممكن نخش في طرف. بدل ما يجي الطرف الثالث بدل ما يجي في الطرف الثالث في يونايتد نيشن من تو جروب المعارضه والحكومه هسه حاليا هم كمناضلين للطرفين كلهم برقم مسميات كثيره اللي حصلت في زمن بتاع النزال بتاعهم، وكلنا عارفين الاثار اللي حصلت في زمن بتاع النزال ده كله. ما ده نرجع هناك ده مسألة طويلة. علينا ممكن يكون طرف الرابع علينا أبناء جنوب، علينا ممكن يكون الراية السائدة على أساس إنه الحاجة بيعمل نفسه ده ما صح. وكيف نحن نقدر نعالج المسألة دي؟ ده داير إنه نحن نكون اللقاءات زي فيديو هسه حاليا قاعد أتكلم سواء.
Yeah, with this all, brother, I really appreciate you. And that's the question that I asked from the beginning. What we can do as a concerned citizen of South Sudan? Why our intellectuals are remaining silent? We have a lot of, number of people. Why they are remaining silent? Is that because they agree with what's going on right now?
Yes.
So it's really a taking point. I really appreciate your point, and I will let you go. And then if someone else want to make a comment, I will give that opportunity. Thank you a lot, brother.
Thank you too. Thank you to everybody watching there. Thank you.
If someone want to make another comment, the floor is open before we end our program today. I'm still, eager to invite people, but let's see here what's happening. Thank you. Yeah, so one more again, I don't think so is a good idea for us to remain silent. We need to speak up, especially the diaspora community. We need to come up with something because our input is very important. And I give a lot of examples, So it looked like I don't want to take more time today. I think that would be enough for our discussion today. I already talked about the international community and what is the role and what it requires for the state to become a member of the international community. I think we went over all this, and I answered a question of my brother who was, saying that I make false accusation to Abel Alier, and actually I did not. So, inshallah fi usbu jai. Thank you so much for being part of this program. Please, I want you to share this. I want you to share it so we can reach more audience. And next week, I think I will be focused more on Arabic because we want more people, to understand, be able to understand what we are saying and what we are talking about. Thank you and have a good night.